So in one of the stories that seems to never really be over, the Apple versus Epic battle.
Yeah.
So we had the verdict.
Who won now?
Yeah, exactly. So you knew that there was going to be appeals, and actually, I think that Epic may have been the only one who filed an appeal. I think Apple's, for the most part, happy with most of what came of the outcome of that. But Epic, since there has been a verdict, said, okay, they satisfied the ruling that was against them in terms of paying that 30% for when they had slipped in their little own payment system. Mm-hmm. So they resubmitted to have an iOS developer account and to have developer accounts in order to have Epic or to have Unreal Engine be part of the Mac ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they were denied. and Apple just basically said, no, you can't do that. We're not going to accept anything from you until all of the judgments from the court are finalized and there can be no more appeals. And according to Tim Sweeney, that could take up to potentially 5 years.
It's crazy.
Oh, dude.
What the heck?
I mean,
great. Let's drag this out some more.
I think that this is one of those things where it's like, this is absolutely Apple like saying like, nah, man, we're just gonna stick your feet to the fire because you did us dirty and we didn't like what you did and everything, and which I don't think is particularly not like expected from Apple. I mean, they've been known in the past to hold a bit of a grudge, or at least especially in the Steve Jobs era, Steve Jobs in particular would hold a grudge.
Yeah.
But I did think that it was, and Tim Sweeney's kind of going back because he's essentially saying like, Apple, you said that if we do everything and apply to the same standards as all other developers, like you'd let us back on the store. I think that's a little bit out of context because they basically said that when it first was the problem before all the lawsuit stuff really started to go down. I mean, technically not because Epic filed it right away, but before it was actually came out and was actually on the rolled out, they said, hey, all they have to do is remove this and we'll let them back in the store. Epic didn't do that because they wanted a fight. And since they started a fight, Apple said, okay, you can't be in our store.
That's crazy.
Like, I don't know, Epic. I mean, you kind of like, you burned this bridge and you're like saying, hey, Apple, rebuild this so that I can walk across it now, please. Yeah. And I think that they should. And I think that maybe down the road they will. But for the time being, like,
so
it
for
would not
right
surprise
now, you cannot get Fortnite on an iPhone.
You've not been able to get Fortnite on an iPhone since Epic did the thing. Yeah, they had that one version of it is on, and then the next update wasn't allowed. So it bricked basically Fortnite, and Fortnite's not been on there for over a year now.
Wow.
I think.
Jeez.
And potentially for another 5 years. So we'll see. It would not surprise me at all if they work out something before all this appeal stuff is completely done and it run its term to where they reach some kind of agreement kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it also, quite frankly, wouldn't surprise me if Apple sticks to their guns. They're like, nah, man.
It could be a stall tactic, man.
Even past that, even if Epic's appeal doesn't, go through or does, whatever it is, I mean, the judge basically said like, hey, you basically, Epic violated the contract and Apple kicking you off was not illegal. So they don't have to do anything. Yep. I mean, they may just be like, you know what, Epic, we don't need you. I have no idea what they're going to do. It's kind of funny to me, though, to be like, wow. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think they were just going to be like, oh, let's hug it out? Like, that's not the way Apple does things.
I think they thought we're going to make a stand.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to
David and Goliath.
Because we're such a huge name, we're going to show, and it's not even really David and Goliath. It's like Goliath and Goliath. Kind of.
Yeah.
And so I think they were like, we're big enough to make a stink about this. Mm-hmm. We're going to show their monopoly.
Absolutely.
And we're going to get this for the little guys.
Yeah, I think that was their motives for sure. Yeah.
And then I thought that they thought it's going to run through the courts. They'll come up with a decision. And then after that, we'll just go back to how it was.
Right.
Yeah.
With hopefully, in the Epic side, hopefully some changes that benefit
with the pay
us.
system. Yes.
Yeah.
And Apple was like, oh, no, I don't think you understand how this works. This is our playground.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And you're not invited to play
we
here.
We built this.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the next level. There's something about that I love, and there's something about it I hate. But like, the part that loves it is just like, we're Apple. We're the Apple App Store. We do anybody a favor by letting them be here.
Yeah.
Like, we've only helped Fortnite and its popularity grow by letting you be on here.
Exactly.
We don't have to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to be a punk, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. That's next level.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a Fortnite guy, but it is a bummer. Like my nephew has a PlayStation 4 now, but for the longest time, all he had was an iPod Touch and then an iPhone, and he would play Fortnite. Like that's the only way he could do it. There's got to be millions of like kids and just people in general out there that maybe that's their only way that they could do it, and they're kind of like the caught in the middle kind of thing. Like, and that's a bummer for them. But at the same time, I'm kind of with you. It's like I love it and I hate it at the same time. It feels justified, but then it also feels like a bummer at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It all feels petty.
Yeah, it absolutely
does. And so it's like the two biggest guys. It's like the two biggest bullies at the playground fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And neither of them really wins, but they both leave with a black eye. But one gets to drive home, and one has a flat tire on his bike.
Yeah.
Right. And honestly, I think they're just I think Apple's just going to stall on this. I think they're just going to be like, you know what? We're good. Yeah, we can just prolong this as long as we need to. We don't need it all.
Especially with that Apple Arcade thing going on too now. Like they have a whole new revenue stream from a year ago. Whenever they started that up, that's I mean, we don't pay for it, but I know a lot of people that play for Apple Arcade.
So they're just going to sit back and be like, you know what, Epic, when you're ready to play ball again, then we'll play ball. But until then,
well, I don't think it's not about playing ball again, because they did rule in kind of in some ways in Epic's favor, which is allowing people to click a thing and leave and pay through another way. But they could just never let them back.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to. The thing that I'm glad it seems like it's not affecting everybody that uses the Unreal Engine. Remember for a second there, it was like we're going to jack up everybody that uses Unreal Engine because that's attached to Epic. I'm glad they're not doing that. That would be the pettiest of the petty.
Mm-hmm.
That would make me really not like them at that point.
That was crazy too.
Yeah, that would be crazy.